Okay, I need to know, what's the soda of choice this morning?
It's actually coffee. I brewed a pot of coffee. It's the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Oh my goodness, I love Folgers. It's the best.
Yes, and I have a very big mug. Very big
fabulous.
Disney World mug. Hello and welcome to Park Talk with Alicia and Naynay. My name is Alicia and here is Naynay.
Hello dear.
And I was going to say it's early morning, but it's not for me. It's early morning for you, though.
It's early morning for me, but even not that early. It's 7:24 a.m., which it's not too early. It's not too early. Is that too early?
It's early.
It's early.
It's early. You're a morning person?
I just had to rope drop Disneyland for the first time ever 2 days ago, which that was actually hell. Like, I don't know. I would never recommend that to anybody.
You've never rope dropped Disneyland Park?
I've never rope dropped Disneyland. I've rope dropped Disney World parks multiple times. I feel like every time I go, you can rope drop. But it's because when you rope drop Disney World parks, it's at a sensible time, unless you're doing Animal Kingdom.
Right.
Rope dropping Disneyland is like rope dropping Animal Kingdom. Like, that's how it is every single day, which is not as fun. But, it's fine. This is late for me.
I thought it would be fun to talk about the two big announcements last week. We had Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, but not the one over by you, a new one over here with the exact same name, no relation. And also a Pokémon announcement for Universal Parks worldwide. Which you were busy having fun, so I don't know if you caught that one.
Nope.
Yeah, it's exciting news. One sentence in a press release, and we are all losing our minds.
Wow, I can't wait.
But I actually wanted to talk to you specifically because you do live over there in the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. How do you feel about us stealing your attraction name?
Honestly, like I saw the commotion. I know that there's a whole lot of commotion. I just think I'm not mad at it. To me, it's just like, well, the ride is a completely different ride. It's a completely different ride. So I think I'm not more so like, why would you call it Hollywood if it doesn't make sense? It's like, I don't really care about all of that. I'm just like, oh wait, like I feel like you are watering down the effort to making a brand new attraction on a different coast by naming it the same thing. Does that make sense?
Because it's so different. Because it's so different.
And it's very easy for you to copy and paste an attraction everywhere you go and just use the same blueprints, but you guys aren't doing that. So you should name it something different. Yeah. Right. So I don't know. I just feel like they're ripping themselves off. That's what I'm seeing. I'm like, oh, like I feel like people just think that it's the same thing, but it's not.
I was trying to think of a shorthand between the two, and instead of calling it like West Coast, East Coast, I was like, we should call it like Mountainside Drift and Spike Drift, because those are the two big differences.
Those are the two big differences. However, do you remember when our original concept art had a spike? Or not a spike, but like, it was like a curved spike.
It was like a scorpion tail. That thing is impossible. Yes. There's no way that's real. In fact, many people who looked at that thought it was just for show. Like it wasn't even part of the track, because it's like,
oh, no way.
How do you have a spinning coaster go all the way out to an edge? And like, you need safety spike. You need extra spike to make sure nothing flies away.
Right.
And like, which we will talk about on our spike, because the press release is lying. It's just straight up lying. But like the scorpion thing, it shows the cars all the way to the edge. Like, what happens if it overshoots it? They just roll right off? Like, that's an impossible maneuver. It needs to have, like, it can't do that. It can't bend back down toward the station. You can't.
Listen, as someone who made a roller coaster look just like that when I was little on Roller Coaster Tycoon, I can confirm that the vehicles will fly off the track and all your guests will fall on the floor.
Fast and Furious Mountain Drift looks too intense for me. Yeah, so the press release over here in the Orlando Hollywood Drift for the 170-foot vertical spike that will send riders nearly 17 stories in the air over the outskirts of City Walk. I think that's a lie, because 170 feet, which is how tall the spike will be, is about 17 stories. But if you've ever seen a roller coaster with a giant spike like that, it only goes up like 2/3 of the way. You
Right.
leave
Right.
excess at the top to make sure you don't fly away like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Right.
So I think someone took the stats for this coaster when writing the ad copy and just extrapolated like, oh, 170 feet. Let me Google that. Oh, that's 17 stories. Cool. We're going to go up 17 stories. But you're not. You're probably going to go up 12 or maybe 13 stories, which is still
Right.
incredibly impressive. But you can't, fib like that.
Well, don't you guys already have a spike coaster? Isn't Hagrid's a spike coaster? Technically?
Hagrid's has a little cute like proto spike. It's like a training spike before they get to this big one. And it's the same thing. It doesn't go all the way to the top, just in case there's an
Doesn't go all
extra
the way to the
little
top.
launch boost, you got to have some excess there just in case.
Got it. Okay, so you would have called it something different on the East Coast. Like you would have done something different. You would not have called it Hollywood Drift. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know. Because you can't call it New York Drift. You can't call it Orlando Drift because it takes place in New York. It's very confusing. I think because the ride actually is located like in the back lot and goes through like the sound stages through Production Central and goes to City Walk. I'm not going to say it takes place in New York. I just think it's the ride, the like station is accessible through New York, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in like the concept for this ride, I think like you're going through the New York backlot to get to the sound stages to do this Hollywood ride. So like I'm okay with the name in a vacuum. It's just the idea that it's a completely different ride from Hollywood. So like having the same name does it a disservice. But then again,
Right.
Supercharged was 3D and part of a tram tour over there. And over here, it was worse, if that's even possible, yet longer with more pre-shows for no reason. And it had the same name. So what do I know? Fast and Furious rides are just cursed to both have the same name, have a garage-themed brick building entrance.
So are you aware of the name change that happened when they built Tron in Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, ours has a weird slash in it.
And they took a word out. So Tron is a carbon copy of what they have in Shanghai. And in Shanghai, the attraction is called
Power.
Tron Light Cycle Power Run.
Right.
And then in Magic Kingdom, it's just called Tron Light Cycle Run.
Right, but with a little slash, as if it's like a DOS prompt and you're putting /run, like you're running a program.
Oh,
It's
got
so
it.
in the weeds that no one gets it. What's even the
Okay,
point?
interesting. So I'm like, maybe in Orlando they just could have done Fast and Furious Drift, like remove the Hollywood, just remove the Hollywood part.
Yeah,
That-
and then
they
put
did
a
that with
wing
Tron.
ding in the center, like a little symbol. A little swirly symbol to say it goes 360 degrees.
That is so funny.
The swirly wing ding in the center.
That is so funny. But the track layout is completely different. However, both coasts are going to have the same mechanism, the spinning vehicle. Is that correct?
I think the exact same ride vehicles and trains. Absolutely.
Cool.
I mean, they
And
didn't
I'm
say that, but they
assuming-
do say exhilarating sensation of 360-degree drifting, which is like what your press release says too. So,
And then I'm assuming the same manufacturer as well.
yes. Well,
As far as track
permits
goes?
show Intamin here, so it's the same as yours. Yes.
Okay.
That's how the rumor started that this would be another version of Hollywood Drift, is that Intamin has kind of been the like manufacturer we expected, and it showed up on documents like a year ago. And also, I make jokes about it, but I do think they get like a good 2-for-1 deal, like a buy one, get one half off whenever they do a coaster.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm
not
sure they do.
unusual for them to build, especially when you're designing something like this, like very innovative new type of this will be like the fastest, most intense rotating coaster in the world. Yours first, and then hopefully yours stays a little bit faster than ours, but it is breaking records. So like it would make sense, you're going to spend all this money to innovate and make these really cool car designed ride vehicles that you would copy it.
So I've been watching our trains test for a bit. Like when I go to the park, I see them test all the time.
And they're not spinning.
So sometimes they are and sometimes they're not.
Oh,
But the point that I'm trying to make is that like when I'm watching these vehicles go, it does not look like they're going that fast. I'm like, wait, is it just like a trick on the eye where it doesn't look
A
like they're
little of
going that
both.
fast?
Because Velocicoaster did the exact same thing. People are like, why is it moving so slow? I think it's got like so much power to it and so much heft to it that it feels like it's going slow in like looking at it. And then you get on it and you're like, whoa, these forces are pulling me. So like, I almost prefer it to look slow when you're looking at it from the ground, because then it'll be
Sure.
more intense when you're riding it.
Cool. Yeah. So
It
that's
just
been my
means the
only thing
forces are
where,
going crazy.
especially when it hits like a curve or a turn, like I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it really slows down. Like, what is
Well,
going
imagine
on?
that like times two though, because if you're
Yeah.
rotating a ride vehicle while you're going on a curve,
Damn.
like it's
Yeah.
going to double the G-forces.
You're so right. You're so right. I am very excited.
Cosmic Rewind is a fairly tame coaster, but once you throw in those little rotations, it gets pretty intense. Or like not even intense is the word, but discombobulating.
Do we know what the speed is for Rewind?
For Cosmic Rewind?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I actually want to look that up.
I'm really curious because it does feel fast, but it also doesn't. Like there are some moments in the middle of the attraction where it really does slow down. Like when it hits the brake
Yeah.
patches.
Oh, it's 60, but that's the launch.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Whereas the top speed for your Hollywood Drift, I think, is 72. And
Yeah,
while
that's
they
just
did not
weird.
say it for hours, if you look at the little teaser video they did with the speedometer, it seems to stop about 70. So I think ours is going to be 70 and yours is going to be 72. That's my guess. And it'll keep yours as the record for the fastest rotating coaster in the world, at least for now.
I do think that one really good thing about having completely different coasters is the comparison. Like I'm just very excited to see which coast is more fun because it's going to be a completely different ride.
I think the terrain in yours is so interesting that I'd rather like see that than just go in between backstage buildings on mine. Plus, just like Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket that it's replacing, like it's never a good thing when you have to, well, you have to squeeze it into yours too, but like when you have to squeeze a whole coaster into this skinny plot, it's just a lot of like, let's go this way and then let's come back this way through the same place you just went. Our Hollywood Drift is going to have like a swing launch, I think.
Oh,
Like to
my
get
God.
enough speed to go up the spike, it's going to have to like launch and then relaunch. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. And like it makes something like Curse of the Werewolf feel a little bit longer that you go back and forth once.
sure.
So I wonder if this will like make our Hollywood Drift feel longer, but also less interesting to see because we're seeing the same stuff.
So, in my perspective, I feel like the one thing about Hollywood's that is like, it's not really hitting any heights. Like, I don't know how I'd explain it because it's along the mountainside and the mountain is so steep and it's going along that steepness. It's like, yes, there's steep parts of the track, but it almost feels like the track is just way too close to the mountainside at all times. So I feel like when you're riding it, it's just going to have like Hagrid vibes where it just feels like you're very close to the ground
I
for a
like
lot of
the
it.
moment over the escalators.
Right,
I think that's
except
a
for that
really
part.
good height moment. And the spin on that toward the scream shields should be pretty exciting. It'll feel very high if you're looking, into the distance. Like that'll be the highest point. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Because you don't only got the height over where, technically you're over the escalators, but you got the height over like the ground level lower lot. So it'll look
Yeah.
really good. But also you have the scream shields. So forget it. Instead of mountain drift, I'm calling it scream shield drift.
Scream shield drift. Scream shield drift. The glass is going up for those currently, like as we speak.
Slowly. It's like one panel a day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
They're
like,
taking
and
their time.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, those glass panels have to be like quadruple laminated, right? Because it's
They look heavy. They look thick.
they better be thick because, like, for example, God forbid, if like one shatters, they have to be super laminated so that they don't just.
Oh
The glass pieces just don't
I know
fall
what you
everywhere.
mean. Yeah, they're
know what I
like
mean?
bulletproof. They're like like
Right.
windshields on a car. Yeah, they can crack
Right.
but won't explode.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's get into theming because that is kind of interesting, and I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about the theming aspect as far as like what the
is your
storyline.
gift shop open yet? It looked
yeah,
like it
our
was
gift
open,
shop's-
right?
Well, our gift shop has been open for a while, and then we
Yeah.
have a set of restrooms inside of the station that have also been open for a little while.
Nice.
And then the gift shop was an HHN gift shop when it opened. And just recently, they've been, how do I say, like yassifying the gift shop? Like we just got 2 new signs for it. Like
yeah, the signs are good.
the signs are really good. And then they sort of like changed after HHN. They made the merchant side into like a production central type store with just like the best of everything. And I think right now, like very recently, they're actually filling it in with Fast and Furious merch, and there's new Fast and Furious merch. So
right, but like not with the name of the coaster, just like
no
movie name merch, like just Fast and Furious family, Fast and Furious this, like
right.
just okay, because that's what happened over here. All of our Supercharged merch like disappeared, and we just have like Fast and Furious generic merch now.
And I've been in this gift shop, and I've been trying to find. I'm like, okay, cool. Where does it connect to the attraction? Like, where do the guests exit into the gift shop? I mean, they have to exit into the gift shop. It does not seem like they're going to be exiting into the gift shop. Like there's no doorway into the, unless they've covered it with like a shelf and I really can't see it.
Maybe.
It genuinely feels like the exit is outside to the right. Like, you know how the Simpsons ride, like it doesn't dump into the Quickie Mart. It dumps outside and then the Quickie Mart is right next door. Or right, exactly. Or Cosmic Rewind. It seems like it's a situation
on your way out, but that's it.
Right. So
I've been trying to find. It's so small, maybe it doesn't dump out into it.
That's a great. Yeah, it is really small. I don't think that it could take on as far as the attraction dumping. But then also, the capacity for the attraction doesn't seem insane. Am I tripping? Isn't it like 16 guests?
I'm trying to think. Like, wouldn't it be the same as Velocicoaster?
No, Velocicoaster has way more rides.
Velocicoaster database.
Oh yeah, it has more. It has 6 cars. Yeah, 6 cars, and this has 4. And they can get 24 riders per train, and this Fast and Furious can only get 16.
Yeah, dang.
I'm more so interested.
Then, yeah, your capacity is definitely lower.
Capacity's lower, but I'm interested to see dispatch intervals as well, because the trains, they're lower capacity, but they're huge, Alicia. Like, they're massive. They're fat, and they're long. Which that kind of makes me question, okay, how many of these can we have on the track at once? And what is the dispatch interval? And I think that's really going to factor into like what the efficiency is going to be like. But
right.
Yeah, it does worry me just a little bit. I'm like, ooh.
I wonder when the zebra print will come off of the cars.
I know. I'm so excited, ready for it to come off.
Is yours not dual load? Is it just a single track at load? I can't remember.
Okay, so I see 2 side-by-side tracks in the station, but I don't know if one is like a maintenance track or if it's like a dual load.
No,
like,
I think it's dual load then.
Okay.
Yeah, we're so ill-prepared for this podcast. I apologize. I've been thinking about Orlando, because if it has dual load, then that should help compensate for the dispatch time.
Ooh, you're right.
Because Velocicoaster only has 1, so maybe that'll make up for the lack of riders per train.
Okay, that should be good. So as far as like storyline and theme goes, this is something that I found really interesting, and I am kind of loving for Hollywood. The theme of the queue or the theme actually for the attraction, it seems like they're showing you how they pull off the car stunts, and then they're having you go on like a car stunt simulator almost.
Right. Now, is this confirmed, or is this just something we keep passing around as information? Because
no, I thought they confirmed
I heard
it somewhere.
But then I couldn't find it written anywhere from Universal.
I could have sworn it was like something official where like they basically said they were like the videos in the queue were gonna explain like how the stunts are done. Too, but the whole queue was like themed after just like old, like I don't know, just like backstage Hollywood vibes. Very similar to Mummy, I'm assuming.
Hi, Alicia from the future here. The wonderful theme park wizard has pointed out to me that the information is official, but it does not appear in a press release because John Corfino explained it at LA Comic-Con in person. So yes, all of the behind the scenes, how stunts were made, and even props from the actual films will appear in the queue, and it is true. We now return you to your pre-recorded podcast already in progress. Right. Well, that's the impression I'm under, is that it's like the old Universal parks where Or even Twister, where it's like a blend of the two, where like they talk about how they recreated the weather in Twister, like throwing hail, like throwing ice from ice machine at us and using wind turbines. And it's like, it felt very real. And now you're going to get to experience that. And then the experience itself is like half real, half special effect.
For sure.
So like I do think it's like that where the actors get to, instead of pretend that it's a real thing happening, the actors get to be on screen and being like, yeah, it's really crazy on the set when we do this, and like we see cars flying around on wires and then you're going to get to experience just a fraction of what the stunts are like, and which would explain why both rides take place in a movie studio. Like you're traveling between sound stages and stuff, and you can clearly see the backlot. So it's not like it's immersive as a roller coaster, which makes sense because you're just filming a movie and doing movie stunts.
Exactly. And I think that this is the main issue with Supercharged is it doesn't do any of this. Right?
It's trying so hard to be real that it comes off as fake.
Because it's not, it's like it's trying so hard to come across as real when it's really not. It's like they almost should have just broken the fourth wall and been like, yeah, we know it's fake. Like, come on back. Like, that's how Hollywood works. If they would have done that whole bit, I feel like it would have had a little bit of a better reception, maybe just a little bit better.
Well, like even Earthquake, like we're filming this destruction scene in the subway. Like the idea of before you enter, just say it's a scene from a movie, and then all of a sudden it doesn't matter that it's bad CG.
Right.
Does your Earthquake still do that? The premise of like we're filming a scene?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of like a half and half. Like,
right.
It's like 3/4 of the way into a studio tour where we're explaining how all these special effects work. But it's one of those things where they do the whole gimmicky bit in the beginning, and then like, like, okay, guys, like they're filming something here. Oh my gosh, like we're having a real earthquake. And then once the earthquake has occurred, then they get into explaining like what movies it was used in, why they did it this way, how they did it. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta, and that's what this ride looks like. It's more like it fits into that paradigm where like you get to enter the world of the movies, but also you get to see how the movies were made.
My theory is that they closed our Supercharge so much earlier than when I thought they were going to close it. And I think it's because they want to use all the props inside for the queue.
Yeah, I think so too. But also like that was still early. Like ours isn't closing until 2027, and our new ride opens in 2027. So like even if they close in January, that gives them like maybe 6 months to move all the show cars and all the props to the new queue, which of course they will, before it opens in the summer or whatever. So like 6 month turnaround, 5 month turnaround is probably all you need to move everything. Like what were they doing? Were they like stealing the bricks from the facade? Like why did you have to close yours so early?
I honestly, like, I genuinely feel like something was not working, or like something maybe broke, or like maybe it just needed maintenance, and they already knew they were closing it. Yeah. Like they were only going to keep it open for like 6 months.
Doing all the bulbs again for the projectors. Like,
we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Well, at least when yours closes, you don't lose a whole attraction. You just lose a portion of an attraction. Whereas if ours closes, we lose the capacity of an entire ride.
But do you like, is that attraction filled to the brim? Like, is the queue filled with people?
If you ask regular guests, they'll be like, wow, the line is really long for Supercharged. But no one knows that shortly after it opened, they cut the capacity of Supercharged in half because they only run one of two buses now. Like it used to be two buses that would come together, and it would be two pre-shows like with a split wall in the middle. And then they would like, and if you were in the back, like you'd see a whole bus in front of you in the 360 tunnel. And now it's just the front bus. And it has been that way since like maybe 6 months after the attraction opened, which means that the capacity for the ride is half of what it opened with, which means the line is longer. So like people are like, oh, it's a 20-minute wait. And it's like, that would have been a walk-on had they not cut the capacity by half. And it's because they don't need it. And I'm sure that people would complain, like if you're in the front bus, that front windshield is really cool because the 360 actually is in the front, unlike Kong.
Right.
So like it's cool to be in the front bus. If you're in the second bus, you get a view of the butt of the front bus. So like I don't know if it's whether like I think it's a mix. Like they knew they could get away with it capacity wise because the lines were so short anyway, and also the ride is better if no one's sitting in the back bus anyway. So like it's like they cut the difference. They're like, whatever, the line will be twice as long, but it's like twice as long as 10 minutes is 20. So no big deal. But I do see it go up to 40, 45 minutes on like most days during busy peak hour.
Oh my God.
Because it's at half capacity.
That's crazy. That is absolutely wild.
It really shows how like much of a failure I think this ride is, that the longest the line ever is still less than an hour at half capacity, running at like, you know, at the busiest times of the year, the busiest times of the day. Like the living like the Seas with Nemo and Friends like ride reached 45 minutes yesterday at Epcot. Like,
my
and that's
God.
an omni mover that no one rides, like, like continuously moving. So it gives you an idea of what a failure Supercharged, one of the newest attractions at the resort, is like.
What do you think that Kong does better than Supercharged? And like, why is that a success and this isn't?
Well, besides removing the 3D, which like broke the ride for me, the storytelling on Kong is better. I think the placemaking on Kong is better. I think being in that park and being an adventure ride is better. I think that Fast and Furious Supercharged falls flat in like every respect. Like, honestly, the best thing about the ride is the pre-show actors just riffing and being funny.
Right.
And that's only if you have the foreknowledge that happens. Like, if you don't know that's going to happen and you're in the pre-show, that like that might entertain you, and then you get to the ride and you go, oh, I was expecting literally anything else but this. And then you never ride it again. Whereas Skull Island, I think people see the Kong at the end. They're like, wow, the animatronic was amazing. And they'll go and ride that next time they visit. So like it gets re-rides in a way that Supercharged never will. But I also think the storytelling overall is better at Skull Island. I think the queue sets up the ambiance really well. There's an animatronic in the queue at like there's so many animatronics at Skull Island that there's one in the queue. And then there's the big bats and in the first scene, and then there's the big King Kong. You know, it's like Supercharged just fails on a storytelling level. Turn off your cell phones. If I get told to turn off my cell phone one more time.
That is so funny. I did forget about the animatronics in Kong. I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's obviously what makes it so much better.
It does everything better, except now they took away 3D. Like it was the one thing that was definitely better than the 12-foot tall Dom Vin Diesel, is that by having 3D, at least, you know, the 360 and the 360 portion on Skull Island being animated by Weta, like the top of their game, best 3D animation like company in the world, and the Supercharged being animated by, no offense, the company, the CG company from the Twilight movies, no offense, but
shade.
But the werewolves in Twilight are not of the highest caliber, and I think that it's, you know, I'm guessing they work cheaper than Weta. Weta, you know, top of the game, Lord of the Rings, very expensive, Gollum creating people. There's a reason that Peter Jackson's King Kong looked as good as it did, and that ride looks as good as it does, and that, you know, Dom flying around on a drone looks as bad as it does.
Is there anything else on Supercharged that we want to discuss before we dip into its possible replacement?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, let's talk about Supercharged replacement and the difference between yours and mine, because I'm starting to question my own theories on what could be happening, because I thought for sure that we were getting a temporary Back to the Future like overlay at both Supercharges, and that yours could be a really cool finale for your tram tour, and ours could be a like 2-year stopgap before they build a real attraction. And like that was my theory. And
what's making
you? It's first of all, it's just based on one post on a forum, so like I can't keep rallying around it when there's no other evidence. And the longer that goes on, however, your FanFest this year, FanFest nights, took away Back to the Future.
I'm so bummed.
And I'm sure that has to do with the taking over the courthouse square and the logistics of like the actual like studio wanting not to have people in there all the time. I guess that has to be the reason. But like, I thought it was the most successful element of the event last year.
It was so okay. I have a couple theories. Okay. First of all, it was so successful. Like, let's not mistake that. It was not a dud. Like, it worked. It was incredible. It had the highest guest satisfaction. it was amazing. But I also know that like as soon as the event ended last year, I was hearing Scooby-Doo rumors. Like as soon like I feel like they were pre-planning to do Scooby-Doo because I feel like with FanFest, because it's their first time doing it, they're just trying to do different things every year to see what sticks the hardest before locking in on, you know, like an official itinerary, if that makes sense.
Like the Back to the Future budget's now going to Scooby-Doo budget, and they're going to try that out. I was thinking maybe it was a test to see how well people respond to the franchise of Back to the Future before they completely go all in on like some kind of attraction for Hollywood.
So like that could be it too. But for example, like last year, no one cared about Star Trek. No one. So it's not coming back this year. Last year, everyone loved One Piece.
And they spent a lot of money on that. That was impressive.
They spent a lot of money. And last year, everyone was like, oh my gosh, like One Piece was huge and it only got a meet and greet. And everyone was like, why is there not more One Piece? And so now One Piece is getting its own stunt show. You know, they're gauging, they're like playing by ear. And honestly, I mean, who knows? We'll see. What they have planned for Scooby-Doo, it just does not seem like it's going to be anywhere near Back to the Future. I'm so sorry. And I mean, just even walking around through the little Europe sets, the scale is just so much smaller. I can't imagine what you'll possibly be able to do because Back to the Future had those moments where you could walk around and interact with the characters, but then it also had actual show moments that happened on like a timer. Like they had the band playing, they had the musical moments, they had, you know, Biff, you know, having his little show moment from the movies. So you could literally follow the movie step by step and do about a big full hour cycle
to do it.
And they had a huge space. And with Scooby-Doo, I'm like listening to what they're doing. It's like, oh yeah, you'll be able to solve a mystery. And it's like, what? Like, really? And then all the characters are characters that we get year round. So I can see the Scooby Gang every single day. And then I can see the monsters every single day. Like those are not rare characters. I think that they're going to add werewolf or maybe like add another one, but that's just, it doesn't seem, as a paying customer, I'm just like, where is the bang for my buck?
Right. Oh, well, we'll see. But as going back to Supercharged, there were early rumors or speculation that part of the tram tour would be demolished and like make room for Diagon Alley with the Falls Lake.
Right. Oh, I remember that.
So like, I don't know if that's happening. I assume they're going to reuse the 360 tunnel. And I've been under the assumption that whatever happens here would be over there too. But I got this sneaking suspicion that I can't shake that Supercharged old rumor of Night Bus over here in Orlando is still going to happen. And this is like the oldest rumor because the plan was like, there's been so many plans for an expansion to Diagon Alley here at Universal Studios Florida. Like the original, like kind of loose plan was to build the British Ministry of Magic where Fear Factor Live is.
Right.
And then when they got Epic Universe and they're like, we need an anchor ride for the new Wizarding World. They're like, we have this great idea for the ministry, but we don't have the space to really do it justice. So they took the ride concept and then they added that whole queue with the gigantic entry area. Then they were going to do the VR attraction at Epic Universe, but that got canceled there and moved in the plans to replace Fear Factor, again, expanding the London waterfront and Diagon Alley into this new VR attraction in the Potter era. And then that got canceled when there was a shakeup in leadership at Universal. So now they have this opportunity to expand Diagon Alley to the left instead of to the right by taking over all of San Francisco, which I say all of, but it's only the size of the giant building for Supercharged, and replacing Supercharged with a Night Bus themed attraction because I don't know if you're aware of this. It's already a bus. And the idea that like the bean counters could be there and be like, well, what could we replace this with and keep the ride system intact? And then someone else at the table is like, what do we have that's bus themed? And they're like, you guys are not going to believe this, but there's a bus parked outside right next door to that attraction. So that's
That is
my, like, I
hilarious.
can't get away from it. There's no inside information here. It is just, I can't not stop thinking about how Potter, like, whenever something new is coming to the resort, I just assume it's Potter. And here's the thing, we already have a new Potter attraction that's under, like, it's in development, but it's about to be under construction, Epic Universe. So do they want to
Right.
open like the 2 new Potter attractions at the same time? And then I'm right back to the, well, maybe they need a stopgap, and then maybe we get Back to the Future for 2 years. So this is what I keep getting back to. Supercharged Back to the Future, but it's announced as a temporary thing, like a special event thing. And that's partly why it's not at FanFest nights. That's partly why like there's no announcement for what's happening, but also we can't lose the capacity for too long. Like they don't have time to rebuild San Francisco into more London because the park will lose so much capacity. We were supposed to redo the horror makeup show, and I think they postponed it because the park can't lose that much capacity.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they can't just do the night bus ride and not do the whole land. And it takes them forever to work on those Wizarding World lands, because then they got to do the interactive windows, and then they got to like reconstruct all the facades.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got
that takes
and then they have
twice
to
as long as
change.
anything.
They got to change the restaurants. There's multiple
Right.
restaurants in San Francisco.
Richter's and Lombard's. And Lombard's is due for a refurbishment anyway, but that's like a kitchen refurbishment. That's not an exterior refurbishment. So
And
like
the
it
candy
still would
store.
take so long. Yeah, the candy store, the little bakery. Like it would take so long to redo that whole, like we're talking like 3 years, 2.5 years, like at the least. Whereas you empty out the queue in 6 months it takes between closing Supercharged and opening Hollywood Drift. So you have a little lull where you obviously have a less capacity in the park. But while you're taking all the cars out, you put up a giant banner that says Doc Brown's Open House on the warehouse. And you do it as a temporary overlay where you go in and it's themed as a garage. And it's got a DeLorean sitting there, and then like a souped up time travel bus, which already like the Mona Lisa is sitting in the queue anyway. You just put some time travel stuff on there, and like Doc Brown is talking in voiceover, and he's like, I'm gonna hook up the time travel truck to your bus, and we're gonna go get Biff or whatever. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Or you even go cheaper and you say this is a special ride through the best moments of like Universal's classic film Back to the Future, and you do the same thing on the tram tour as you do here, where it's a great finale through the clock tower finale from Back to the Future, and you just get to be like a spectator, and they 3D recreate the end of the movie and you're in it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and it's very low cost once the ride film is done, because you keep saying this is a special limited engagement, hurry while it's still here. Special limited. It's like a special Soarin' that only comes for the 250th anniversary of the country. Like it's America Soarin', but it's a special engagement for the anniversary of independence.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Yeah.
That's such a Disney thing. Could Universal do such a Disney thing?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, would they even spend that much money on something so temporary?
Well, that's the thing. If it's just a ride film and very little placemaking with like putting a DeLorean in the center that they already have somewhere, or the train that like put the train and the DeLorean in there, like from Central Park. Why not? If it's just the ride film, you could easily use that ride film, and stay with me here, for FanFest nights in the future. For people who miss it and want it to come back. Once you've replaced that portion of the tram tour or that Supercharged replacement with a permanent attraction, you could do an overlay for FanFest nights with that same ride film. The same way that Soarin' Over California comes back every once in a while for special engagements.
I'm trying to think of operations. So they're not going to want Supercharged to be closed for a super long time because of capacity. Now, when that coaster opens for you guys, it's going to eat up Supercharge's previous capacity.
No,
so
here's the thing.
No?
You have to weigh what capacity for what type of people it is. Rocket closed.
Oh,
So Hollywood Drift is only replacing what was already lost in a high thrill ride for teens and thrill seekers. Whereas Supercharged closes and it's more of a family friendly attraction with low thrills. So you have to replace it with the same type of capacity, which is why when you close something that everyone can do, like horror makeup show, you can't just replace it with a thrill coaster and it be the same thing.
right. So we know that they're not just going to let Supercharged just sit there and rot. Like
I don't think so.
as soon as this thing closes, they are going to be gutting it and getting it ready for the next thing because they need the capacity.
Yeah, like if it were me, I'd get it ready by summer because that's when the crowds are. Like the thing went seasonal sometimes for Halloween Horror Nights, because during the day, during that time of year, it's not that busy. But as soon as the holidays start, you got to open it back up because the holidays are one of the busiest times of the year.
Right.
So summertime, when I'm assuming Hollywood Drift opens, is a busy time of the year. And maybe they can live through one summer, but when the holidays come around, I don't know if like the park can handle that. Like the park's already struggling right now.
Yeah.
It's got a lack of offerings. It's got a lack of diverse offerings. And you keep taking 3D away and hoping that that solves the problem, but it doesn't make the screens disappear.
Right. It just
So
actually makes them flatter and
yeah,
makes them look more like screens.
yeah,
Yeah, so because here's the thing, ours there is no sense of urgency. Like it's just been sitting there rotting, and they've parked a tram in it just as storage.
right.
So which kind of worries me because I'm like, damn, there's kind of no sense of urgency because there's already so much to do in the tram tour that they could just easily cut that out and still have a really hefty, delicious tram tour. But yours, I'm like, well, there's a little bit of a sense of urgency. I feel like we might see it come to yours first. I don't
Well,
know.
if ever the rumor of the separately ticketed tram tour happens over there,
Oh no,
I could see
stop.
that as a reason to, like, if you're paying extra to do the tram tour, you got to have a little extra sauce on top to get people to go.
Sure, 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 sure. Yeah, you can't just like take away something that's already been existing and not add any value to it and charge people for it.
Right. So if that suddenly starts happening, even if it was like an optional option, like where they sell two ticket types and like it's an upcharge or whatever, then you really need to have something new and shiny. Otherwise, people ain't going to pay it. And like, oh, I've seen the tram tour; it's the same thing all the time.
Damn.
Just a
Well,
theory.
we'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about Supercharged, whereas it's funny how Hollywood Drift, like, I think we got it all figured out. Oh, you know what we didn't
Yeah.
say? And the only
Huh.
thing that we don't really have figured out, and we probably will by the time this podcast comes out, the track color. We can't just have a black track. It'll look like Velocicoaster. So ours has to be different.
Oh, are you
And
sure?
everyone thinks it's blue. Midway Mayhem got some footage of some of the first pieces of track that were delivered across from Epic Universe, and they all mostly look silver. But I think that's the one from the maintenance bay because it's like, why even bother with color? It's going to be inside a dark building, only the backstage.
Sure, sure.
So I don't think the ride will be silver track, although that would be kind of cool. Everyone seems to think blue. So we'll see.
Do they never have two of the same color tracks in a park? Is that a thing that I just never knew about?
Well, I just think it's a skyline thing. Like, yeah, you could, but no one does. Like SeaWorld and Busch Gardens have 1,000 coasters in their parks and they're all different colors. Even if they're
Whoa.
like different shades of green, they're still technically different.
Whoa.
And a different
Yeah,
shade
I
of
feel
black
like,
would just be gray.
yeah, yours would probably be blue. I feel like I wouldn't see them doing anything crazy. Or like maybe like an orange. Would that be crazy? I feel like orange is Fast and
It
Furious.
was Rip Ride Rocket red or
It was red.
orange. Okay.
I thought it was like cherry red.
Yeah, no. I think blue it's been the longest rumor. I think that's what we're gonna get. Or silver if the whole thing is silver.
Ooh.
I'd be fine with that too. But like blue blends into the sky? I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is. I think I know the thinking is don't make it look like Velocicoaster, which yours is like supposed to be your Velocicoaster because you ain't got one.
Right.
So I get it.
Maybe it'll be navy. So then
Yeah.
doesn't blend it in the sky, but then it's still blue.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking light blue though.
Oh, you're thinking baby blue.
Yeah. Midway Mayhem was saying this track over here looks blue, and I can't tell in the video because it's under a blue tarp and it's silver. So like, is the silver reflecting the blue tarp? But he's the one looking at it like in person, so maybe it is blue, and I just can't tell in the video. So like he thinks the first pieces of blue has already arrived. There's not much on site, at least there wasn't yet when he was there a week ago. So we'll see next time that the more track appears.
Where are they staging all of your track pieces? Like, where do you guys usually do that?
It's directly across from the parking lot for Epic Universe, which is where most of the Epic Universe stuff was staged for the bottom half of the park. Like all the Super Nintendo World stuff was staged there. Right now, the Jurassic Park River Adventure boats are staged there while it's being worked on for 8 months. So like, it's just, that's the staging lot. And they cleared it out of everything that was there a few months ago. So we knew something was going to happen there. But yeah,
awesome.
It's directly in front of the entrance to the parking lot for Epic.
Perfect. I guess we will see.
We have to talk a little bit about Pokemon. There's really it's such like the smallest non-announcement, but everyone went crazy for it. Like my video got a lot of views and it's only 4 minutes long. I saw Variety. I saw all of the big like news organizations talking about it. And it was such a like non-announcement because it was just reiterating that like Pokemon experiences are coming to Universal Studios Japan and then everywhere else. And like we knew it was going to Japan. They've already had like, characters in the parade or street shows. So like Pokemon experiences already are in Japan. So I think they're like chumming the waters and preparing us for a big announcement for the Spider-Man ride replacement in the New York area of Japan. Because they have Pokemon Day coming up next month in February. So that's probably going to be like, hey, this is when we're opening this ride that we've been secretly building that no one knows about yet. But by just dropping that one little sentence about, and then around the globe or Universal parks around the globe, everyone went kind of nuts because we're like, finally, it's not just Universal Japan, which was the only partnership announced in 2021. God, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So now it's everywhere. Although they didn't say which parks, they just said around the globe.
I mean, it could just be the Asia parks.
Well, that doesn't feel around the globe to me. That feels like one part of the globe. I want to go all the way around the globe. Universal says a bold new global project is set to begin at Universal Studios Japan, creating unprecedented and innovative experiences in collaboration with Pokemon. See, it says it's set to begin in Japan. Following its debut in Japan, Universal Destinations and Experiences will deliver unique Pokemon experiences around the company's global footprint. It also says unique Pokemon experiences. Does that like mean that they'll be different everywhere?
It means our Spider-Man is safe.
Oh, I definitely think our Spider-Man is safe over here in Orlando. However, I wouldn't discount cloning the attraction from Japan. Just because the box of the building is the same doesn't mean they didn't rebuild the ride inside.
Oh, really? Yeah, because it's kind of taking them forever, right? Like, when did they close that ride down?
I think it's only been 2 years. I could be wrong.
Okay. I'm like, I feel like they did that a long time ago. I'm like, what is going on with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure when it closed down. I don't know if we're going to get the same ride. And also, I keep talking about Lost Continent and Islands Adventure being removed, like taken over by Pokemon. It used to be Simpsons was the rumor, and now it's this. But that doesn't like. Do you think Hollywood could get Pokemon? Because then I could think it could be Simpsons, and there's no way it would be the same ride because there's not enough room. Then I think you'd get a different ride.
I'm having a hard time imagining Pokemon at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Just in general, at all.
Just in general, but I also think like a Simpsons takeover just makes no sense to me because here's the thing. You can't just do the Simpsons ride. Like, what are you going to do with Springfield? And Springfield is like in front of Supercharged.
You turn it into a Pokestop. You turn it into a Pokestop and that's it. You're done. It's just a little Pokemart, a Pokestop, a Pokemon gym, and a Pokemon ride. And I'm talking small shops.
But you have all those quick service locations that the park needs for, whatever. So it's like, okay, so what is all of that Pokemon?
Yeah, just a Poke food.
Poke food.
Just a Poke food. It's a Poke Cafe. I don't think it's very immersive, but then again, not much in Hollywood is, except for Hogsmeade when facing one direction. I think.
Right. Shade.
I think there would be enough room if you replaced Mummy. And I know we keep talking about Mummy going away, and it never does. But once you open a new roller coaster, that's a perfect opportunity to actually remove the roller coaster.
100%. Like as soon as a Hollywood Drift opens, I
Right.
feel like that is the biggest green light to just be done with Mummy. Because here's my thing, Mummy takes so much space and packs like no punch. It's like the amount of deliciousness that we could fit into this building, where right now it's just an empty warehouse with like a really short coaster that is so unsatisfying for literally
Right.
everyone. It's like we could do so much. We could do so
I
much.
think that could be a Pokemon ride. I'm curious to measure the difference in the building size. And as long as there's room for a gift shop, you're good to go.
Which there
Because
is,
that's all
because
you need.
the lockers now used to be the ET gift shop, and you
There
wouldn't
you
need a
go.
locker for
Nope.
Pokemon, so
Yep.
have it
There you
back into a
go.
gift shop.
That's all you really need, I think, is just a big box to put that ride. I do think the placemaking for each Pokemon land can be very different, like the different biomes. And like you have a city
Sure.
in the New York area for Japan, you have an island at Islands Adventure. It can be something like more adventure-y. You could do the exterior of this attraction can look like whatever it wants. And then inside the ride, you go to wherever it is that the ride takes place, and then it doesn't matter what the outside looks like. And I think that's how you have unique Pokemon experiences that are different at all the resorts without having to, you can still clone the ride. Like that's my theory.
Do we know what the ride system is for Japan that's replacing Spider-Man?
I'm not sure. There's a lot of mystery and like they've kept it really well under wraps. So like I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's the Scoop ride vehicle from Spider-Man. I think that let's read what the official announcement on social media says, because it says that Pokemon will be based on a hyper realistic experience that stimulates all five senses. It brings the Pokemon world to life in unprecedentedly interactive and rich ways. So
Wow, well, that gives nothing.
unprecedentedly interactive. I think it's going to be interactive, which means it ain't going to be bouncing you around as Men in Black, as they discovered when they tried to do that on a scoop vehicle. It's impossible to aim a target when you're bouncing around. So I don't think it'll be the scoop vehicle, and if it is, it'll be locked down. And when they say stimulates all five senses, I think that means they're going to bring food and stuff. I don't think it means the ride itself will stimulate five senses.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd be tasting the Pokemon. And I don't think that's how that works. I think they mean the areas will stimulate all five senses.
So we're thinking Mario Kart because it needs to be something flat and stationary where it's not jiggling you around too much. So then you're able to like interact with the things.
I'm curious to see. I hope Nintendo only owns a third of the Pokemon company, so I'm hoping the other 2/3 of the company helps steer it away from
A bus
the
bar.
problems that we have with Super Nintendo World. I want a big, more open area. I want the interactive rides to be engaging enough to want to keep doing over and over again. I think being able to like collect Pokemon in an area is already great and probably more like fun to do over and over again than just hitting blocks for coins. Like I already think it's more engaging to get different Pokemon. And if they could figure out a way to make it so you could build up your Pokemon and evolve them and use them on the ride, they got a winner.
Whoa.
That's what I'm thinking.
That would be cool. All done in how? Through like a band?
Uh or a Pokedex. Or a Pokeball.
Okay.
Probably a Pokeball. It would be a Pokeball. You pay $50, they give you a ball, and the ball has like a little like display on it or something, and you hold it near certain areas and it tells you caught something, and then unfortunately you open the app on your phone. Unfortunately. But a ball is a cool thing to carry around. It could have like a cool clip or whatever, so you have it on your belt and like it looks good. Like I can see a ball working.
Okay.
And it should have a gesture inside. So like you have to swing it. You swing your arm. You don't let it go though, but you swing your arm. I could see that.
It's like a Wii remote.
Yeah. I as long as it costs $50 and makes Universal tons of money, I think it'll work.
That's hilarious.
But,
Wasn't there
yeah.
like that whole shtick of like the Power Up band paid, at least it was here in Hollywood, the Power Up band sales alone like paid for the entire land within like one summer.
Yeah, and that's how Butterbeer was for Harry Potter. Anyway, I'm excited for the Pokemon like concept spreading across the different parks because other people are excited about it, and I love the energy around that. Like
Sure.
this is definitely something that people will go out of their way to come visit, especially if the lands are different. And I think like the way Japan has been doing it is kind of a very slow roll. So I feel like they could open the ride and it still be New York with a ride, like the way a Spider-Man was. And then over time, New York can be transformed into a city from Pokemon. It could get a show in the theater to the left of Spider-Man. It could get Finnegan's rethemed to a Pokemon restaurant. Like it could just expand and take over the entire New York area, but it won't happen all at once. Whereas Lost Continent will just like blam open up as an entire Pokemon island all at once.
Wow. I think it'll be amazing. I mean, we'll see. I definitely don't feel like they would be identical. I feel like all of their replacements are so different that they'll have to make some adjustments.
Right. Hollywood's will be contorted and shifted and shoved into a tiny space. Orlando will get something, the biggest version. Japan will get it first. Singapore will get a fraction of it that'll open 10 years later. Like it's all the same as Nintendo, like all happening again, but for Pokemon. Except this time, maybe the UK gets something.
Ooh, that'll be good for them.
I've had a theory that like the concept art for the UK park, the Jurassic World area, the area we think is Jurassic World, like they took away some of the like defining characteristics in the art, so you can't tell entirely. I swear, like the exit gift shop for the ride looks like a Pokemart. And like I've had a theory that like, what if last minute, now that they have all the contract for the whole world, what if they take the building shape that was going to be Jurassic World Adventure and then gut it and put in the Pokemon ride, and that becomes Pokemon Land, and the roller coaster to the right of it and the play area and all the other stuff stays Jurassic World. So you get Jurassic World with a coaster, you get Pokemon with an indoor ride, like you get an extra bonus land over in the UK.
That would be awesome.
So, I'm sure they'd be disappointed they don't get Jurassic World Adventure with the giant Indominus animatronic. But you get the brand new Pokemon ride, like with your park opening. That could be pretty cool.
That's great.
So we'll see. It's just a theory. Either way, I'm super excited for Pokemon because it's reinvigorating the theme park discussions around Universal. Now that Epic's open, it's been like kind of a lull. And then Pokemon, all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, theme parks. Yes, theme parks.
It gives us something new to be excited about, and that's always the best, regardless of whether you like the IP or not, or know anything about the IP or not. It's still exciting.
Yeah, well, I think there was a lot of disappointment from people that had convinced themselves that the Hollywood Drift over here in Orlando was not Fast and Furious themed, no matter how many times I would say that it was. And that they were convinced it was either Ghostbusters or Back to the Future. So they were super disappointed. And I'm like, which is why I think they announced Supercharged was closing too. It's to soften the blow. They're like, hey.
To soften the blow.
You didn't want Fast and Furious as a coaster, but at least now we're closing Supercharged. And everyone's like, I guess, okay, it's a good consolation prize.
And it'll be even a better consolation prize when they replace Supercharged with a Back to the Future.
Except if it's screen-based, everyone will be bitching and moaning about it being a screen-based Back to the Future ride. And I'm like, hey, so was the original. Thank you very much.
No, it'll be great. I would rather have a screen-based Back to the Future attraction than a coaster. What are you going to do on a coaster? It's all outdoors. There's no Back to the Future theming in that.
Well, the only thing you do on a coaster for Back to the Future is reach 88 miles per hour, have like Dr. Brown in your head going, you got to get to 88 miles per hour. And then you do. And then it's the entire coaster.
and it's over.
Right. Which is what they're getting in the UK, not to diminish that. I think the land being Courthouse Square is cool enough on its own, but also you get a coaster. Yeah, but I want an indoor ride. Dang it! I want a immersive experience. I don't want to see the rest of the city on my Back to the Future ride and it not be Hill Valley.
Exactly.
I do have hopes, and I'm holding out for a actual Hill Valley land in Orlando someday.
In Orlando.
Okay.
All right.
The way that like people thought Lord of the Rings was going to open at the UK park first and then come to Epic Universe, I have now moved on past that, and I've evolved past Lord of the Rings ever happening. And now I believe, with all the hype happening around Back to the Future, I believe that someday Back to the Future will come here.
Listen, we would love to see it.
But that's just a theory. A theme park theory. All right, that's enough park talk for now. My voice kind of came back through this discussion.
I know.
Really bad this morning.
It sounds good.
Oh, no, it doesn't sound good. It sounds better. I'm still fighting for my life here. I just need to talk. Thank you, Naynay, for being here, and thank you
But
everyone
of
for listening.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.